We have a bunch of different stuff here to talk about for Black Ops 5, Call of Duty 2020, a lot of different leaks about the game at large, when it's going to be revealed and released, also some new zombies information, some stuff on the actual title. It may not even be a Black Ops reboot or Black Ops 5, it could very well be Call of Duty Vietnam or Call of Duty Vietnam War. So a lot of different leaks here, leaks from Skizzleax, The Game Revolution, some zombies teasers from Glitching Queen. So I want to go through all of this stuff within this video. If you can leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated. And again, I did my first stream on Twitch this morning. If you want to come out to the streams, I might be streaming some zombies. So if you want to check that out, the link to my Twitch will be down in the description below. Let's get started here first with Skizzle's leak. Apparently, he's talking to someone at Activision or someone that knows information, someone within sort of the Activision Treyarch sector, and they are talking about the release cycle for Call of Duty 2020. Now, the general sentiment is that Call of Duty 2020 is supposed to be delayed. I've said before, all of the leaks have been saying, the Game Revolution has been saying that, COD 2020 most likely will be delayed. It makes sense. There's so many other games being delayed now, but apparently this leaker talking to Skizzle is saying that that's actually not the case, and COD 2020 is expected to release on time and is also expected to be revealed on time as well. So let's just go through this leak here. The leak is that the game has been in development since around February 2018. So whatever it is, early 2018 for the most part, the game started its development. It's still on track for 2020. According to this guy, there are no problems behind the scene and it looks like the game will still release on time. Now, something very interesting is that Treyarch did take over. There were sort of the issues between Sledgehammer Games and Raven, but the leaker is saying here that Treyarch didn't completely take over the game. They just sort of joined Sledgehammer and Raven to make the game complete and solid and really fine-tune it and finish it up. Most of the game is still from the former assets that Sledgehammer Games and Raven were actually working on. So this leak, at least according to this Activision employee that's talking to Skizzle, makes it seem like COD 2020 isn't as in shambles as we thought it was, and it brings us and leads us into a bunch of other leaks that we can piece together to really figure out what COD 2020 is going to be and when it's going to be revealed and released. So to look quickly back at the long sensation, he's saying here something different. COD 2020 is in a bad place, worse now due to what's going on right now. And then his theory is that Activision is going to try to release it to keep their stock prices healthy, and then obviously it may get delayed to 2021 because of what's going on right now, but that's only his theory. And then someone asked him about the reveal for COD 2020, and he says, not sure. There was plans for a May release, but obviously that's very unlikely to happen now. But this new information that we're getting from Skizzle, from this Activision employee, says the opposite. This leaker is saying that there are no delays and it's still on track for its normal reveal and release cycle. So that would mean that they're still on track for a May reveal of COD 2020. And we'll talk about the dates in a later video. And unless we get any new updates saying the opposite, saying that, okay, wait a second, no, it actually is delayed, as of now, it looks like there's a pretty good chance because we actually have a source saying that it's not delayed and we're still going to see a May reveal and a fall release. So very cool to see here. But now let's go through to some leaks about the game itself, and then we'll talk about some zombies teasers for Black Ops 5 as well. The Game Revolution has another new update about the game, and he's saying, according to his source, he has multiple different sources, obviously, different people giving him different leaks about COD 2020, and the leaks have been back and forth about what it's going to be, a Black Ops reboot, Black Ops 5, etc., etc., and now this leak is saying that it's actually not going to be called Black Ops at all, but it's going to be something to do with Black Ops. Now, I interpret that as it's probably not going to be Black Ops 5. It's probably not going to be a Black Ops reboot. So just like Call of Duty Modern Warfare was, they're not going to do Call of Duty Black Ops with a whole new story but the same characters. It seems like it may not be that, but it may be something to do with Black Ops, like the Black Ops storyline, and that leads us into Call of Duty Vietnam or Call of Duty Vietnam War. Let's go through some stuff about Call of Duty Vietnam War and what this could mean, because this actually lines up pretty well as to why Sledgehammer and Raven Software were making this game, and they've probably had the assets for this game for a very long time now. So Call of Duty Vietnam War, we're going to go through here, was actually called Fog of War. It's a canceled installment of the Call of Duty series that was under development by Sledgehammer Games. It was stated to be taking place in the 1960s and 1970s in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos. The game was planned to be in the action-adventure genre and would be the first third-person only Call of Duty game. After 8 months of development, which is a pretty decent amount of time, the game had up to 15 minutes playable, at which point Activision offered Sledgehammer the opportunity to help Infinity Ward with the development of Modern Warfare 3. So there was nothing wrong with the game, it was just Activision needed help with MW3 because there were issues behind the scene, as we'll talk about here, and they pretty much said, you know what, we'll keep our game, our Vietnam third-person Call of Duty game on the side, and we'll go help MW3. So in January 2011, it was confirmed that the action-adventure game would be canceled or simply put on hold. Glenn Schofield referred to the game as most likely canceled when interviewed in October 2011. Sledgehammer went on to develop Advanced Warfare, confirming the game's cancellation during an interview in 2014. He revealed more information on the canceled project and what the studio had been working on in an interview with Game Informer. Glenn Schofield stated that the studio was ever asked to make a third-person Call of Duty game again, they would continue development on Call of Duty Vietnam. So they would go back to those Vietnam assets if they were ever asked to make a third-person game. But I think the situation here is that, as we know, Sledgehammer Games and Raven were on track to make a Call of Duty for COD 2020, and it was supposed to be a Vietnam War Call of Duty, and clearly they have the assets within the studios from their old Call of Duty Vietnam game, and that's most likely what they're using here. There is so much validity to this. I think it's almost 100% confirmed that we're seeing Vietnam War Call of Duty this year, and it really could be. I mean, they were developing a game that was specifically Call of Duty Vietnam. Now, clearly, COD 2020 isn't going to be third person, so they definitely scrapped a lot of the third person stuff, but this is going to be the game that they release in COD 2020. I'm pretty sure now that it's going to be COD Vietnam or COD Vietnam War. So let's get into a bunch of these zombie stuff here. We'll expand upon that within different videos, but it's just very cool to see that it makes sense. There's history behind it as to why Sledgehammer would be doing this, and Treyarch is just taking over, and they're taking, you know, Sledgehammer and Raven's assets, and they're bringing that forward and probably bringing the Call of Duty Vietnam War game to life that they had envisioned back then and that they're actually going to release this year for COD 2020. So here's some stuff with the Glitching Queen. She talks about a bunch of different teasers within Modern Warfare looking at Black Ops 5 zombies, or, you know, just zombies for COD 2020. This was actually talked about by Skizzle, I think around last week or 2 weeks ago. I didn't really talk about it, but I want to mention it now within this video because it is very interesting and it does relate to a bunch of different stuff that we're going to be seeing this year, especially with the Ether storyline, specifically from zombies. It's a weapon drop within Modern Warfare multiplayer, which I don't use these, so I never saw this. I didn't realize this. I don't know if this was added in after Modern Warfare came out, if it was some sort of update. That would be very interesting if it was added after. But you can see up on screen, you have the same exact Treyarch mystery symbols on this weapon drop kit. It's not on the actual physical crate, it's just on the icon. So when you throw down the drop kit, you see the icon up on screen. It has those same exact Treyarch question marks, but when you actually drop it down and it's physically in the game, it doesn't have it on the crate. But it's a very interesting teaser there that she is showing that's saying, like, you know what, they did this exact same one for a reason. It seems like they're hinting at that vibe, and obviously time and time again we've seen the past Call of Duties reveal, not really reveal, but tease the upcoming Call of Duty. You remember Black Ops 3 teased a bunch of Advanced Warfare stuff directly within Black Ops 3 Nuketown. I mean, they teased the new game within the current Call of Duty so many times. This could be a very subtle hint at teasing something like that. And something else here that she saw was something in the shop in Modern Warfare. It's symbolism, and it's a symbol monkey. It's a monkey bomb. It's literally a monkey bomb from zombies in this game, and the name is literally symbolism. Like, that is symbolism. They're teasing that that is symbolism for zombies coming this year, for the Ether storyline coming back in some sort of way this year. That's such a cool teaser, honestly, and I'm adding it within this video, but I definitely want to do a zombies specific video and going through all the different zombies teasers and hints that we have towards, especially the Ether storyline coming back in some sort of way within COD 2020. This relates back to a bunch of the leaks as well. If this new game isn't going to be Black Ops necessarily, then you can't say the Ether storyline is going to come back, because if it's not going to be Black Ops, then the Ether storyline technically can't come back. I guess it can in some sort of way, but for the most part, it is over. People pretty much agree that the only way the Ether storyline is going to return is if it's some sort of reboot and it's the same characters, same stuff from the Ether storyline, but a new and different storyline itself. That would be a way, but right now we don't even know if it's a reboot. It could just be Call of Duty Vietnam, so we could get zombies returning, but it's Vietnam zombies in a different way than it was back in the Ether storyline, back in Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 3, World at War, all those different games. So we'll see what happens here. I'll expand upon that within a different video, but for now, leave a comment below if you did enjoy. Let me know if you watched the whole video. Comment below BO5. I know we talked about it not being called BO5, but it's easy for you guys to comment. I don't want you guys to type out Vietnam. That's too hard. BO5, comment below if you watched the whole video. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's going to be called Call of Duty Vietnam? Or do you want it to be called Black Ops 5? I don't really know. I mean, I don't mind. I'd rather go to a new title. Black Ops, it's a cool name, but we've had enough Black Ops. I feel like Vietnam War or Vietnam would be a pretty cool name for the game. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.